So I'm gonna get right to it. Um, I've been getting some feedback and stuff about the videos. So I'm gonna talk about something that I haven't really talked about with anybody, maybe my therapist once. And it's just the realities of the military and being overseas and the reality of losing somebody that you are, acquaintances with, you're friends with, your brothers with, you're in a platoon with, you're fighting the same war with. So let's fast forward, to 2006 April. This was before I got blown up. So this was also after one deployment in 2005. I'll get on a ton of other topics on that as we go along here with what happened in the first deployment and stuff. But I'm gonna get to the second one because this one is pretty intense to me. The bracelet that I held up, I have that in my car daily. Just a reminder. Who he was. Lance Corporal Darren Thomas Settle. So this is, he went out as a hero, as we call it, too young, and it's unfortunately it's the reality of it, of being overseas. Now, before the deployment started, I was a corporal in the NCO, and we were kind of given tasks, jobs that we were gonna do, responsibilities, and I was force picked to be in charge of the convoys, in charge of just drawing up the convoys, who goes where, what guns go with what. I had to match all the serial numbers up, match the driver up with the serial number, or serial numbers to the amount of ammo, and the order, who is gonna drive, who do they mesh well with, who's gonna gun for them. So nobody wanted that stupid job, but I was forced it. Now, later on in the deployment, my Marines started not liking me as much because I got to do some paperwork while they were like getting the convoys ready, doing tires, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't have to do a lot of that physical stuff as much in my second deployment, and they didn't like me for that. But I also did not want that job. It had its benefits with that, but then it also was absolutely awful of just trying to get everything in order, having my staff sergeant up my ass, and then just being in a hut near higher ups was just awful as it was. So again, I was Motor T. We would go on missions. We would patrol sometimes. We would go where the grunts needed us to, if they had other missions they had to do. But mostly we're, driving around, just delivering stuff to people in need. And again, for security purposes. So we would leave every day, 2 days. So we weren't just, we weren't sitting in the offices. We weren't doing that stuff. We were out there. We were out there all the time. So in this day, in April, we were there 2 months, 2006. We, again, this is what I remember, but we stopped in the middle of a convoy. I was with my driver, the same driver I got blown up with, like 3-4 months later. And, we didn't know what was going on. Not too many people knew what was going on. We were just all out of our trucks trying to listen to the radio, blah, blah, blah. And I think we were told there was, just a truck, there was something wrong with the truck, or I don't know if they really said there was an accident. I don't believe I had a radio, so myself, my driver, and the vehicles in front of me and behind me, we really didn't have any idea what was going on. Again, I was like the 12th or 13th vehicle. And this happened behind us. I believe it was one of the last trucks. And in these convoys we traveled with civilians. There'd be civilians, paid contractors that come out there for a year, help out. They weren't allowed to carry guns or anything like that. And, they were basically just driving semi-trucks. I thought it was kind of ridiculous to begin with. I guess we just needed more support. I don't know. I just didn't like that to begin with. I felt like we had to babysit them. So with that being said, this convoy, it was just this pause we had was just taking hours. And, we've been, again, this is our second deployment. We just didn't really realize what was going on at behind the scenes when we were just chilling. I don't know, I would say hours later, night, fall turned into day. We were getting some sunshine, and we finally started to drive back. And I remember at this time we were just driving, and we had another stop. I don't know if someone had to go to the washroom or something. And, so we pull over to the side of the road, we get our weapons out, we do our watch around our trucks to make sure there's no bombs, check the area, clear the area. And it was myself, Corporal Nimmons, and Corporal Underwood. They're still family to me. We all kind of huddled in the middle, and I don't remember who gave the news, but we were in that little huddle, and we were told that he didn't make it. Lance Corporal Settle. And we instantly, we broke down after just being in shock. It was surreal. You question it. You don't understand it. And he had a baby, a newborn that he never got to meet. That's brutal. That's tough. And so I remember on the way home, we couldn't tell any Lance Corporal, Junior Marines what happened. So for the next 2 hours, we just sat there and tried to hide what was going on. And I remember just sitting there crying. I was in that truck with a barrier in the middle, so he couldn't really see me, and the truck was so damn loud he didn't hear me crying. But we did have to get out again, and I couldn't say anything. And I'm just trying to get to it. And at that moment, that was one of the first times you just feel defeated. You feel done. You really don't you didn't really care what happened after that. And so we drove back. Our lieutenant got us all together. He told us the news, and it got pretty bad. You see grown men and women cry, holding weapons, having all these weapons of destruction. He was a good guy, very, very good Marine. And I know he had some very, very close friends in that platoon, and to this day, I still think about them all. And the thing that I hold is guilt. The reason why I hold guilt, because I'm the one that put him in that vehicle. I'm the one that put him with the driver. I'm the one that just put him in that situation. And you know, and I think my therapist, you know, they're telling me, of course, you didn't know, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're going to tell me that, but that's not going to help. That's not going to help that I'm going to run into that. Why didn't I put myself in that truck? Why wasn't that me there? I don't understand. I just blamed the driver at the time. I didn't know who to blame. I was, you know, you get hurt, you get sad, and you get angry. And anger, I think anger we take back with us the most. That's what triggers me. I get angry. I get angry fast. Hurt and anger goes together. And I just remember being angry a lot and hurt a lot out there. But that, you know, again, it's our job. That's the reality of what we do. But that's what I hold to this day. And I got him tattooed on me, you know, as a memorial. You know, but it's something, again, you kind of throw out there. You don't think about it. We try not to think about it, but we also think about it. And that's just, you know, again, that's just what happens. That was the worst time of my life, I would say. Just in that moment, that feeling of just dread and hopelessness. And again, I want to share this just because it kind of shows who I am. It kind of try to say, you know, we've all been through some horrible stuff, and I'll keep pushing. You know, what other choice do you have? Because life could be worse. You know, I didn't have to be here. You know, he's not here. He's not here with his wife and his baby. But he's missed, and he's thought about a lot. And you know, that's just what we take home with us. And it's just one of those things people don't like to talk about. But all my Marines that were with me, we all know. We're a family. They remember this day. They remember him. They probably remember just what I remember, or maybe they remember more. So I want to get it out there. You know, and real quick, the thing that sticks in my mind that really questions his faith of anything, I remember he was on his truck before we left back, probably an hour before he passed away. He was reading a Bible. And, you know, to me, that just did not make sense. Why is he reading a Bible and then he didn't make it? Like, right after that. When I didn't read no Bible, you know. So, again, it's all interesting stuff. It's all real. It's real stuff. It's not like today's, you know, military, which is good. We're not all over the place, but it's all like selfies and, you know, just crazy stuff that you're seeing that, oh God, we couldn't do that when we were in. You know, I was in there when we didn't have Instagram, and I think Facebook just arrived, but we had like MySpace, but we weren't allowed to post anything. So, I mean, it's good we're at peacetime for the most part, but these people in the military, you know, you gotta think what you want. It's tough. We had to continue on with 6 more months of that tour after he passed away. It was awful. But we had a mission to do. That was our job. You know, and I think we pushed for him, you know. So, thanks for listening. Give it a thumbs up, and I'll get to daily adventures of every day in Iraq probably next.